Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well this evening. It is Tuesday, TPO Tuesday, in fact. Tell me what you've had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. And ooh, my internet is laggy. Yeah, it's about to snow here. It's getting very cold. So, ooh, I might have to. We'll see. Dip off the screen once I get things going. We are heading to Thurston County where we're going to watch some neighbors have a TPO hearing. I think they're neighbors. There's some feistiness that happens. I haven't watched it all. I've just skimmed through it. Sorry. Slip of the tongue there. Scamming. Um, Mikey People Court showed YouTube. Hi. Jim Huntsman, you're having leftover spaghetti. Love it. Vicky, thank you for the med check. Good reminder. Go ahead and do a med check for everybody. Med check means if you take meds, think about taking them. If you don't take meds, come on down to the chat. Tell us what that's like. I just cracked Coca-Cola and I'm drinking that. And this TPO hearing is not super long, but not super short. And it is in Thurston County, like I said. So I see no reason why we shouldn't get started. Oh, I do see a reason why. Because I haven't got it fucking queued up yet. Give me a second. So close to being ready, but not quite there. Hi, Chris Engelby. I hope you're doing well. Mm, okay, here. 43. Oops, that's too far. There we go. Okay, let's get going. You're in a very good mood, Chris. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm in a pretty good mood too. Whew, I'm busting out of my shirt there. Um, I'm in a pretty good mood too.
That would be great. And for the record, and Shannon Pardee, a petitioner in 23-000378. Mr. Eden is the respondent. And then in the case 23-00435, Mr. Eden's the petitioner. Ms. Pardee's, both parties are respondents. In that case, this isn't a new situation. Well, somewhat new to me, I think. Both Mr. Eden and the Pardees have been listed as petitioners and respondents in a few cases in the past involving each other. No permanent order has been entered. As far as I can tell, feel free to, either party can stand to correct me. The last time you were in court was in, okay, let me double check this. Well, there was a case that was filed in November 17th, but it looks like that was dismissed. I think the last time folks were actually in court speaking to the judicial officer was in August. And so a lot has been filed. Some of the things predate the August filing, which I think has already been litigated. I'm not too interested in any of that. Although I did review what was filed, some videos, which frankly a lot of videos don't reflect well on any of the parties who are in front of me here today. But Ms. Pardee, and I'll start with you first. You're the petitioner on 23-000-378.
Okay, so the petitioner here, I would just like to say it is unusual to be able to get your knees in the shot, but as you can see, Miss Pardee up here at the top here, right? Right here. This is her knee, you can see here. That is a unique angle for YouTube court. We don't often get a knee foreground shot. I mean, it's unique, I'll say that.
Um, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. And how is it that you need an order against Mr. Eaton? And like I say, what I'm going to be interested in is things that have happened since the last time you were in court. I think a judge made a ruling, pretty much the things
Everything,
up to there. Go ahead.
everything I've submitted to you has been recent. It's not any old stuff. This is a continuing, ongoing issue. Mr. Eden
I would
doesn't
like you,
stop.
I would like you to testify as to the specific things that are in the record. So just tell me what's been going on out there.
When I try to leave our home, Mr. Eden has a sign up above with these bright lights flooded right at the exit of our driveway on a fence that he put up illegally in the beginning of the year. It just and it's just to annoy. There's chairs there. You can't see when you leave. When we're trying to leave, he throws up his middle finger, calls me a fucking cunt. Try to go out of the driveway.
Whoa! Ma'am! Again, what in the absolute fuck? So I think the two people. Okay, so okay, I don't know yet. Oh my. Your discretion is advised.
Like I've written to you, 15-year-old kid in the morning going to school, and he's out there screaming, calling me a fucking cunt and giving us the finger. Last week when I was trying to take a kid to school, I don't even know if I've had a chance to write this to submit it. As we're passing his house, it's 5:43 in the morning. I'm taking the kid to school because he goes early for gym. And this guy's up in his house as we're passing with a spotlight, spotlighting us through the window. Do you know how bright a spotlight is?
I saw the
Besides the
pictures of
fact that
the light.
Mr. Eaton knows that I have a light disorder and a sensory disorder to that, as well as noise, and he keeps on. It's childish, Your Honor. He's mad about his land disturbance issue, and he keeps trying to create some issue where I haven't spoken to him, talked to him, nothing since the before summer of 2022. All of these incidents are simply Mr. Eden either running out of his driveway, running down the road, anything at my kids. The kids leave the front door. He's out there yelling, calling him a fag and giving him a finger. We have a locked gate to keep away from him. We go to the gate. There he is giving us the finger. The video I submitted to you, giving the finger. The man cannot leave us alone. He drives past the house to give him the finger. Matthew was home the other night by himself. He went to empty the fireplace ashes in the garbage can that was up by the road because the garbage hasn't come yet. And I get home and Matthew says, Mom, I'm just emptying the ashes. And he drives past, giving me the finger, yelling, fuck you. He's 12. 12. Mr. Eden does not live in a family home. He lives in his mother's house. He's not a resident of this community. He doesn't care about this community. And he's angry because we have to file a land use action because he filled in an entire hill and it's now flooding my property. So not only am I subjected to his torment every day when I try to go to the grocery store, get my kid to school, I can't even have a caregiver now. The state will not send out a caregiver because he keeps harassing my care people. What gives him the right to yell at my guests, my company, my care people, my medical professionals? And I have to go around and protect all these? I can't. He will not stop. He's at that driveway over the hill all the time. So now I cannot, I'm supposed to have surgery. I need care people and they will not come here. I'm in the middle of that. The one guy's so afraid he won't even make a statement because he doesn't want Mr. Eden to know where he lives or who he is. And now I have to deal with adult protective services because I'm a vulnerable adult. They have to come out here because the caregivers won't come out because Mr. Eden won't leave them alone. This is new. This isn't old stuff. This isn't his BS saying that I don't behave or I've done this and that. This is all just recent. Even yesterday, he's still up there. Finger, music, noise. Who runs? One, we live in a residential neighborhood. This guy runs his dump truck for up to an hour at a time, filling it full of noise and diesel smoke. I mean, it's awful. Fine, I'll take care of that. But in the end term, you're by not giving me an order, it's subjecting our kids to constant emotional abuse.
Did you have any additional witnesses you wish to have testify?
I don't know if I no offense, Your Honor, but I haven't exactly felt heard by you. So no,
okay. Okay, I'm going to stop you for a second. You haven't been in front of me, man.
What? Ma'am, what are you fucking talking about? You haven't even stopped talking. Well, you didn't even give him a chance. What on earth?
Ma'am, stop, please. Yeah, you haven't been in front of me. I haven't heard any of these cases. So you're not offending me because I haven't decided any of these cases. So don't worry about that. But I just want to clarify that I wasn't the judge who sat in any of these cases.
But I didn't drag anybody down here because I didn't think that you would let them be heard.
Okay. So let me hear from Mr. Eden. Mr. Eden, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm that testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you're asking for an order against both parties. I'll hear from you, and again, on new information, things that that have happened since the last time you were in court, again, with regard to both parties, and then
Parties that are the parties to this action. The parties are the parties. God, I'm so silly.
you can respond to what Ms. Pardee had said, and then Ms. Pardee, I'll come back to you, and you can, I'll allow you to respond to what I hear from Mr. Eden. And Mr. Pardee, he's listed as a respondent, so I can hear from him also in the case brought by Mr. Eden. So Mr. Eden, go ahead. You've been sworn, so
Yes,
I'll hear from you.
Obviously, you can see what I'm dealing with. I think we should call all those people in. Absolutely. They need to be, if they're their witnesses, they need to be here present for this because none of this has happened. 99% of the stuff that she has told the courts today has happened. I have not done any of these things.
Well, hang on just a second. I did see some video, which what appeared to me is you, for lack of a better term, giving her the finger. I mean, did you not see
Is that my cell phone or is that the finger?
It looked to me like the finger.
Going up my driveway the day I got a film?
You was there, it looked like when I saw it,
On the 29th.
when you were, and again, I can't remember the date right now, but
It was the
it
29th.
looked like you were walking.
Yes, it was the 29th. I was at Lana's, her neighbors.
And I saw something with some cell phone too.
Yes, the neighbor locked herself out of her car. I walked over to help her. I was over there helping her. The tow truck driver showed up. Lana and her have an ongoing thing also. She just recently, this year, last year, 2023, chased Aubrey with a rake. And there's a police report on that.
I don't know who
No,
that
she
is.
chased my neighbor, Lana. So I was at Lana's house, that's next door to Shannon Party's house. They have an ongoing argument going also. Shannon ended up chasing her daughter, Lana's daughter, Aubrey, with a rake. There's a police report on this. The other neighbor, Cindy Guppy, she's also chased their child down the road and wanted to press charges for burglary charges that their autistic child was in their driveway. I mean, she has police reports with all the neighbors around her. It's just not me, Your Honor. I mean, this is ongoing. The lady in her backyard, she calls a fat, fleshy arm lady. Ongoing with, I mean, it's just, I mean, all my neighbors, I've been neighbors with these people 30, 40 years, 40 years. They're afraid of her because what you're seeing here in this court today is what they do not want to get involved in. We've been in this process for over a year now.
I can see that.
And they just she can't control herself. Every time we go home after a court date, Judge Wool or Commissioner Wool, she bashed him on Facebook. And just, if you read did you read it? It was in my exhibits. I mean, just tore him apart. Anytime that she's not happy with anyone, she just goes after him. She went after Evergreen Shores Homeowner Association, sued them for years. She makes all this stuff up. None of this stuff is really true. Maybe a little bit. Like I said, 99% of it isn't. Then after her and Bill lost that case, she went after the people that were on the board. Each individual ones had lawsuits against them. And John and Jessica Knudsen were on the board for Evergreen Shores. They were her neighbors at one time also. They have foster children. She attacked them also, turned them into CPS. I mean, this woman cannot stop with the neighbors. Jessica Knudsen and John actually moved because of Shannon. I mean, this is an ongoing thing with everyone. Now she's sitting there trying to bring me into Superior Court over some land issue. She said, I filled my yard in. And that was in 2007. I had a grading permit because I did some work on my yard. I brought some topsoil for landscaping. They didn't move into their home till late 2014-15. They're going back to public records, anything she can do to sabotage me and my business, saying that I'm trying to run them over in my dump truck. I got dates here that she put on her declaration stating on Friday, 10/56, November 17th, her kid was outside in the yard and I was saying, hey. These dates, I wasn't even in town. I was out of state, or not out of state. I was on the other side in Eastern Washington. I mean, and I could prove it. I have videos, pictures. I mean, this woman cannot stop. And Bill knows it. And Bill is forced to protect her. And the Evergreen Shores, everyone's watching this. This is huge. She got kicked off the Evergreen Shores board out there. She was on the board. If she wanted to address any issues at that time, she could have addressed them when she was on the board. And now she's attacking me because she has it out for me, and she will not leave me alone. This is what she does. This is free training for Miss Pardee. She enjoys this. She builds her cases more and more and more. The more she can do this and drag it out. And anyone in any of her cases, even when I talked to the lawyer for Evergreen Shores Homeowners, she goes, she's going to hold this. She's going to continue this as long as she can, Mr. Eden. This is what she did to us. It was a painful draw, and oh my God, it never stops. And I mean, I wish I could bring all my neighbors in, but they're so afraid of her, of going through the same thing I'm going through right now. But yeah, they're pulling things out that court cases that have been closed. This has been thrown out twice. I have nothing to do with her children. This is between Miss Pardee not getting her way, and poor Bill over there has to stick up for her. Bill don't want to be any part of this. The guy lives in his car.
You speak for yourself. I'll let Mr. Pardee speak for himself.
Okay, well, Bill lives in his car outside the gate half the time, sleeping in his car. She doesn't allow him to sleep in the house. They're married supposedly, but he's not allowed to live there. He hasn't lived there for years. She has a problem with Bill. She has a problem with her children. I just witnessed a possible overdose attempt by her oldest son, Jonathan. Both her kids are wonderful kids. They've been mentally abused for years. And you could probably ask her adult children. They've been through the same thing with her. So, I had to contact the Thurston County Police because I witnessed something that I was concerned that Jonathan might have possibly overdosed. She was begging her husband to take Jonathan to the hospital because he took a bunch of Benadryl and some other stuff, and she wasn't sure. Bill was like saying, get in the house. She kept saying, no, take him to the hospital. Bill walked the kid up the driveway, and the kid says, I don't want to go to the hospital. Bill goes, we're not going to the hospital. But I mean, this goes on. The little kid comes up and pleads to the dad and says, you need to come down here and get your son. He's effing tweaking and he's high. And he goes, tell him to come up. And he goes, he can't move. You need to come get him.
Okay, so ma'am,
it just goes on and on.
I'm going to stop you for a second. And so, first of all, ma'am, I prefer that you not interrupt when other people are talking. And secondly, but on the other hand, she's kind of right. This doesn't really have anything to do with, I'm asking why you need an order against her.
Well, to protect myself from all these cases, all the stuff she's presenting here. The one time she has me on camera walking by her house is because I have to go to court again, right? And if you guys were gonna do a temporary anti-harassment order, I wouldn't be able to get within the distance of the ditch to film why she's taking me to court, saying I caused damages for foundation, blah, blah, blah. So when I got permission from Lana, when I went over there to help her because she was locked out of her car, I walked by Miss Pardee's front yard. I took a picture of the culvert pipe in Lana's yard. I went over to Mike's. I took a picture of Mike's culvert pipe. Shannon, I walked along Shannon's front yard on the road, and everyone walks back and forth their dogs. There's no anti-harassment, no reason that I can't walk by her house. I filmed the ditch that is completely filled in where she allows parking for two of her businesses. People come and go all the time, turn around people's driveways. That makes all of our dogs bark. It's ongoing. She's got people dropping dogs off and people going. I mean, it just never stops. So that's why I walked by her place and filmed the ditch, because I'm going to Superior Court and the courts need the evidence that I need to submit to them in the next hearing they're dragging me through. So I mean, one court case after the next court case. And why is all this? Why now? They've lived there since 2000, late 2014, 15, and she's viciously attacking me. I can't go out my house. She's got reports. Oh, he started his truck at 7:15. Oh, he ran it for 10 minutes. Oh, he started his truck. Now he's moving his motorhome. Now he's doing this. She walks, me and the neighbor were standing in the road. She came by. I was like, oh, great. Here comes such and such. She comes driving by. The neighbor's my witness. I get the dog. I walk across the street. She says I lunged at her car and stopped her from going in fear. Darla Burkett is a total witness, saw the whole thing. She said she was willing to testify. Well, guess what? Shannon got the papers and Darla Burkett's name's in the papers. She went on Messenger. They're not friends. Why everyone's on Shannon's Messenger, her pages for Concern for Evergreen Shores, is because all the harassing things that she did to everyone out there, so they like to follow it. She is followed by 300 people had to vote her off the board because she's threatened to shoot at dogs and people. I mean, this woman, it's stacked so high.
What about you're asking for an order against Mr. Party?
Okay, I want protection from her because she continued lying, and these are all these lies. Her dragging me into courts for no reason.
She said that you used a word that begins with C.
With her,
did you call her that?
When she drove by, and I had my dog. We got over to this. My girlfriend, my not wife's girlfriend is what she calls them. We got to the side of the road. Her window was
My not wife? Huh. I don't know that I think not wife is the worst term. I'm just kidding. This is nuts. These people are freaking. Could you imagine living in this neighborhood and the fucking just level of drama all the time? I can't handle that. I can't handle it. No. 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 No.
road up. I looked at Darla. I said, "Effing cunt." Yes, I did say that. Her window was up.
Not to her.
Not to her, no. And my neighbor's the witness and saw the whole thing. Shannon's looking straight forward, not even looking at me. Her window rolled up, and I got it on video. There's so much stuff I didn't want to submit because you already got too much.
Again, Mr. Pardee, is he a part of this?
Mr. Pardee, he likes to. Him and I definitely have some verbal. He's jealous of me and Shannon because me and Shannon were really close friends for a long time. And I think he thought me and Shannon had.
Wait a minute. You and Ms. Pardee were friends?
Yeah, for like 7 years. Right. I mean, I got all the screenshots when she was suing.
We were friends. They were friends, Mikey. Chris, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I appreciate you gifting membership so much. I love it. And Lizette got it. That's so nice. Chris is in a really good mood today. I'm in a really good mood today right now. I think that I don't know anything about my neighbors. Nothing like these people know about their neighbors. It's crazy. Craziness. They were fuck buddies? Ooh, his not wife. So him and her? Wow. Wow.
Evergreen Shores, they kicked her off the Facebook page. So I took screenshots and I'd send them to her because she couldn't get them from anyone else. And I still have all that stuff. I mean, everything. I helped her for years, unfortunately, try to sue Evergreen Shores and the people on the board. And I could show the phone where I sent them to her.
So let me hear from Mr. Pardee. Mr. Pardee, could you raise your right hand, please? You swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
I'll hear from you. What's your position on all of this?
Well, I haven't heard much about why I'm named as a respondent. The stuff against my wife seems to be fairly old. That's fine. And some of this I'm to blame for because I did file a lawsuit against the HOA back in 2018. I don't know what that has to do with today. Not much. I mean, I went to the Court of Appeals. I lost that case. lawyers do lose cases once in a while, so I lost that case. So it had nothing to do with Mr. Eden. It had to do with the HOA.
Oh my God, he's a fucking lawyer. I forgot. Okay, we have seen these people before. And the allegation that he slept in his car, I remember that in the fucking driveway. But he is a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty positive. Because the way he worded that, lawyers lose cases sometimes. And that would make sense for how much they litigate as a family. You know what I mean? Like if you have a guy that will sleep outside of your house in a car instead of coming into the house or like demanding, you know what I mean? Like we're at that level of weird relationship. I bet she can make him file lawsuits for her. Um, anyways, that's nuts. Let me just check something here.
I have filed. I just to let the make the court aware under 7105 sub 4 RCW. I have filed. Mr. Eden's correct. I have filed a cause of action against him, Eden Trucking LLC, his trucking company, his mother, Marilyn Eden, who owns his property, and I've also filed it against Thurston County Superior Court, Thurston County Superior Court cause number 23-2 03894-34. So I just wanted to make the court aware of that if they were not. My guess is the court is aware of that. That is a pending litigation that was just filed in November, and we haven't even gotten full answers from every defendant yet. So that discovery will be ongoing. So that'll go on for a while. But that if the court thinks that that's a frivolous action, as Mr. Eden's suggesting, he can defend that, and then the court can rule on that ultimately. I think that really has nothing to do. I don't think that's abusive litigation. In his petition, I'm responding directly to his petition against me. He mentions he's afraid because we filed, and I think he checked the box for abusive litigation in 2651-020. That regards domestic violence or people that are intimate partners. Me and Mr. Eden are not intimate partners, as far as I know. Maybe him and my wife, he alleges, were intimate partners at one time. I'm not sure what he's alleging today, but I am not an intimate partner with him. The box he checked, Your Honor, has nothing.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna say, for a man with no balls who sleeps in his car, allegedly, in my opinion, they're litigious, be careful, but seriously, and seems to bow down to his wife over there, he just spoke over that judge and persisted forth in a way that is unique to lawyers, but interesting.
To do with abusive litigation. Obviously, if anybody could run in and get anti-harassment orders when a civil action is filed in Superior Court and District Court, that'd be an interesting kind of separation of the two court systems. You can use one court system to prevent litigation and another. I don't think that's what was intended by the legislature. I will mention he talked about. I did download that video for my wife and we submitted it to court. The video you're talking about, where he recently walked around the property, he actually flipped her off twice, the video camera twice, when he was going over past Arlo Briquettes, and when he circled around back up to his second driveway, which we're litigating, he flipped her off again. So you're correct, Your Honor, he flipped her off twice. He does admit that he yelled "fucking cunt." He was doing that because he's.
What, have you transitioned to being her lawyer now, dude? This is a weird, weird situation. Because what is this? Is this testimony? Is this an argument, a closing argument? Just allocution? Like, what is this?
Saw my wife coming with her car, and my oldest son was in the car, and I think I explained that in my declaration, in her declaration. There's also a mental health matters sign. We submitted photos of that, which has floodlights on our property. It's not a security issue. It's on top of a hill 20 feet above the right of way. It shines at my wife's property all the time. It drives her nuts. It's there when my kid catches a bus stop. It says mental health matters on it, and it has spotlights pointed towards our house. That's in addition to him continually harassing my family by yelling that they're, basically disparaging, kind of obscene names. He does that pretty frequently. We've had arguments in the past. That's because he's driven my family crazy. He routinely calls my kids disparaging names out. All we're asking for today, Your Honor, you don't have to put an order in of him against me. I'm not asking for an order. I'm asking for an order for my kids and my wife because I all I want to stop is the language. We can sort it out in Superior Court. Wherever that goes, it goes. That's what litigation is all about. People have a right to file land use actions. Now that litigation is fairly complex. It's not as simple as Mr. Eden describes it. He's not a lawyer, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it has nuisance claims. It has intentional infliction of emotional distress. It has zoning actions. I think his operation of a trucking business in the neighborhood is a violation of the Thurston County Zoning Code, RL 21. We'll get into that when we get to Superior Court. There's other actions too for against the county for negligence and failing to stop him from filling his property back in 2007. That has caused water issues. That's 15 feet into the right of way, Your Honor. I can prove that. I have evidence of it. This is all stuff that will come out in Superior Court. But what we need during the pendency of that action, and I also attached. Let me mention, Your Honor, before I get off here. I did attach the letter because it was mentioned specifically in Mr. Eden's petition. The letter I sent to his mother back in, I think, in December of 2022. This is over a year and a half ago, is what he's talking about. I gave you a copy of the letter because I wanted you to see it. It's a typical demand letter that we all learn about in law school, Your Honor. It's a 7-page demand letter. I go through the law. I kind of cite the cases. I'm basically giving the owner a chance to reach out and talk to me. They never did. And now, ever since I filed that and filed stuff with the county in preparation for a claim with the county, which I did in prerequisite to my cause of action in Superior Court, this is when it all blew up. This is when he became enraged by the fact that I filed a cause of action. He's trying to bait me by saying, "Oh, I'm jealous of him and my wife's relationship." I don't care if my wife has friends. I've never been.
Friends or like, friends. Chris Engelby, of course you can comment. You can comment anytime. Shadow Nightwolf, thank you for being here, even if you're just here for a minute. Presto, welcome. This is finally not in your backyard. You love it, but it is in Lizette's backyard, an hour and a bit away. Tons of fun carving. Thank you for coming. I hope you have a great night. Enjoy. Um, this is nuts. Nuts.
A jealous type in that regard. But I mean, they were friends at one time, so be it. They're not anymore, obviously. I think the judge hit that on the head. I don't think they're going to be friends anytime soon. But I'm not a possessive husband. And he talks about how I live in my car. So be it, Your Honor. I mean, what does that have to do with me harassing him? Nothing. He wants to humiliate me. So be it. I don't know what that accomplishes, but it's wasting the court's time. He's filed basically hundreds of pages of old stuff from previous actions. And the one classic example is, I think, dishonesty with the court, and his credibility, I think, is diminished. He says that I chased him down the street, but he doesn't give a date. I gave you the date, Your Honor. It was January 5th of 2023. Over a year ago, I chased him down the street. You know what I was doing? I wasn't a party to the action. I was actually representing my wife at the time. All I did was trying to serve documents on him. He was less than 50 feet away from me. I said, Mr. Eden, here's some documents. You know what he did? He ran down the street yelling, he has a gun. He knows I don't own a gun. He did that to try to get me shot. He's a dangerous man. He's very aggravated by this lawsuit. I think he's indicated that he's very aggravated by a civil lawsuit. He's lost control, and he wants to keep on harassing my family. His goal, I've overheard him up there talking to other people, is to get my family to move. His goal in harassing them daily is to get them to move. That's why he runs and idles his truck at all hours of the day for endless amounts of time. He's not going.
I don't know. I mean, gas and diesel is so expensive here that it would be, I mean, honestly, you would not, that's almost unbelievable to think that somebody would idle their vehicle as like an FU. Here's the thing though. As many of you know, I've had many, many jobs. One of them was working with buses that served cruise ships. Some of the cruise ships arrive really, really early in the morning. Sometimes we want to have the buses down already where the cruise ships are going to be, but it's also now a residential area. And so there used to be these like community whatevers that would literally come down and videotape if the buses got started before a certain time and then like send them to council meetings and like send them, and I had to be like, oh, it was so fucking annoying. Just so fucking annoying. Oh my God. Just absolute NIMBYs. Not in my backyard. Like, I know we need tourism, but not in my backyard. Like, that used to be a coal dock, okay? Now it's a cruise ship dock.
Anywhere with his truck. He's idling it because he wants to drive her crazy. It's noise, it's pollution, it's regulated in industrial districts. It shouldn't even be in a residential district, but we'll get into that in Superior Court. That's not for you today, Honor. But I want to point out that this is a serious matter. The HOA lawsuit that I lost has nothing to do with it. I've lost lawsuits in the past and I've won lawsuits in the past. It doesn't make me a good or bad lawyer. Monday, you might say I'm a bad lawyer. Maybe Stephen thinks that. That's fine. But lawyers file lawsuits all the time. There's litigation in the courts. People, one side loses, one side wins. I'll let you go, Your Honor. Thank you for the time today.
Do I get
Listen, in Canada, in certain parts of Canada, yes, you can idle a fucking car or truck for a long time, but you would, where I live and in this part of Washington, my assumption is that that would be odd. It's very expensive to live around here. It's a lot.
respond to that at all?
Yeah, you can bring that, and then I'll come back to you, Ms. Barty. I have a question. Came up on the top, both Mr. and Ms. Barty brought this up. What's the story on these lights and this mental health matters sign?
I've had a sign on my fence for a long time.
Yeah, how long?
Oh, geez, probably over a year.
Okay.
I had to build a fence.
Since all this came up?
Before this. I had to build that fence because of the harassment I was getting from the parties out of pocket.
Okay, so wait a minute. So then the sign came after the harassment started. Is that what you're saying?
No, the harassment,
you just said it's on the fence now, right?
it's on the fence.
Okay, and so you said you built the fence because of the harassment. So obviously it wasn't on the fence. The harassment started before the fence was built. Was that sign up there before that?
It was a difference. She was filming me. We didn't get to the courts yet. She was filming me in the dump truck trying to leave. So that's when I put to protect myself, because there was phone calls.
Okay, but I want to know when the sign went up for the
Okay, the
first time.
sign went up after she started filming me.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
then the
And
police,
why would you do that?
because she was threatening to sugar my
Because mental health matters. Also, look at the still shot of the woman. She looks like she's crying. I would have just responded, mental health matters, Your Honor. Fight me on that. Like, if you want to be belligerent and you want to put up a sign and make somebody feel bad about it, but it says mental health matters, I feel like you could just stand on saying the saying over and over again. I wouldn't argue this. It makes it sound petty. I would just say mental health matters. That's it.
gas tank and kill me.
Okay.
She was like, she would get out there and yell. There's so much stuff I haven't presented, Your Honor.
Go ahead. I'll hear from you. You wanted to respond. I'll let you respond.
No, I just protection order from Bill, because just like Bill, said himself, he says he was trying to serve me papers. I had no idea that Bill was trying to serve me papers. The prior day before Bill chased me down the street, they went to the police department and said that I tried to run them over and kill them in my dump truck. So then Bill, the next day, Bill comes around the corner of his car at a high rate of speed. He jumps out and I'm looking right. He's eye locked on me and he starts running at me. Well, I see he's got something in his pocket. So I'm concerned. I'm like, what the heck? Because just prior they said I tried to kill him. And I'm like, well, does he have a knife? Why does he have his hand in his pocket? So I took off running for the neighbor's house. I took off running to my house. He cut me off where I couldn't get in my driveway. So I took off running to the neighbor's house. I was going too fast. I couldn't turn. So I just kept going. He chased me probably 400 or 500 yards until a neighbor said, hey, started screaming at Bill. And then I got stuck in the neighbor's fence in the backyard and I couldn't get over their fence. So I called 911 and was on 911 for the whole time while I was hiding in the woods. And you can hear all the neighbors' dogs barking and stuff. So I was afraid that Bill was still out there. They actually picked me up 2 blocks down the road, the sheriff's department. So that's just one incident. Then he sits there and parks outside our backyard across the street. Him and I get in arguments. He left, big deal. He came back around and started another argument with me. He's saying that my mom slept with her brother and had me. I mean, it just,
What the fuck? Oh my God, I'm itchy. Okay, wow. This is a nightmare. I wouldn't want to live around here. I don't like talking to people that live. I don't even like looking at my neighbors. I just want to be in my house. This is crazy.
No, my sperm doesn't swim. Is that why you didn't have kids? He's cussing and swearing at me. It's all on video. I've never submitted any of these videos. The only videos I submit are the police videos. And then when the police come out, you can see Mr. Pardee is sitting there saying, I don't know if he identifies a woman or a man. I mean, he's getting aggressive. I mean, to me, this is aggressive. You don't live in this neighborhood. Why are you coming around? And you know, my girlfriend can't even walk outside with the dogs anymore. Yes, we do have a flashlight. I got a flashlight for Christmas. Big deal. It's a flashlight. She signed it the day that Shannon might be complaining about something.
Thank you, Donna. Oh, yay, Jenny. Oh, wow. I gotta be careful. Pop out. Yay, thank you so much, Orlando Chiquita. Make sure that you've turned gifting on, guys. We have really, really generous people around here. So turn on gifting. Did they just I know, Dawn, I know the story about your neighbors. Um, did he just say that the lady accused him of being fathered by his mother's brother and that and had slow swimmers? What? This is insane. Wow.
My girlfriend's a witness. She was out there with the dogs. So Shannon drove by early in the morning. My girlfriend shined the flashlight down the road. Was my girlfriend trying to cause Miss Shannon to wreck or do any of this? No, obviously not. My girlfriend has nothing to do with Shannon. But they're going to make it sound like all this stuff. Just like I said, in these dates and times of things they've posted on here, none of this happened. Let's just go back to Bill, though. You know, he just continues harassing, you know, bringing me in all these lawsuits, multiple lawsuits. I mean, why? Why now, Your Honor? When they were on the board, they could have addressed any of these issues when they were on the board for the Evergreen Homeowners Association. But since Shannon tried to kill herself, Bill was actually at the house and her good friend Darcy was there. Darcy knew that Shannon and I were really good friends at that time. So I was talking to Darcy, explaining to Darcy what I've been witnessing, and she was having problems with the children and Bill. You know, so when Bill showed up there, it was the first time I got a chance to talk to Bill because he hasn't been there for years. And I said, hey, man, this is what's going on. You know, maybe you should know because Darcy said it wasn't good. Didn't think she was going to make it. Shannon took a bunch of pills or something. She ended up going to the psych ward for a while afterwards to get help. Like I said, I'm not here to ruin their family. The best interest of, you know, the kids and, you know, the neighbors have all witnessed. There's been multiple reports. And that's why we're here is because the phone calls to Child Protective Services, I was the only one that didn't know that when you make these phone calls, you're supposed to remain anonymous. And I didn't. So she believes that I'm the one that's been calling CPS on her. It's not. It's all the neighbors around her. Her poor kids have never even got to play in the streets or anything because when it just goes on and on, Your Honor. I just need protection because Shannon will not stop. And she has proof in all of her lawsuits with everyone. She just does not give up. She doesn't stop. She won't. And here I am missing another day of work. You know how many days of work I've missed? This is, you know, saying I run my truck. Yes, I can run my truck if I want to, Your Honor. I can play music if I want to. I'm not harassing her. Anything I do, she feels that I'm harassing her. You know, I got no problems with Bill. Bill don't like me, and that's fine. I never had problems with Shannon until a year ago. I mean, I don't know why they're coming after me, Your Honor.
I'm going to latch on to what you said. I said, I got no problems from Bill, but you're asking for an order.
Well, when he's chasing me down the road, like,
okay, so I mean, well,
that's my.
I have no problems from Bill. Literally 3 minutes ago, you described a situation in which you felt so unsafe that you ran away from Bill, hid in the woods, and called 911 for assistance. Okay. I'm just trying to even comprehend at what level of delusion you have to be to do that, but then stand here and talk like he is. Like, neither side is making sense. This is Karens upon Karens upon Karens. Some real estate agent that sold all these houses to this area was like, I'll unload all the worst people into this neighborhood and then I'll fucking move.
My
you want
problems.
an order against him or not?
I didn't have problems with Bill until he started chasing me. Yes, I Yes, I'd like to be protected. Why should I live in fear? I live there. He doesn't.
Well, he does.
Guys,
Well, because he gets,
He lives in the driveway in his car. He admitted that, which is so odd as well. Yeah. This actually gives me a bit of a headache. Like, this is the drama, but I'm just imagining living it, and I'm also realizing I think that's a fucking kid over here above her. Oh, what am I gonna use to cover this kid up? What am I gonna use to cover this kid up? Oh, I know what I'll use. This, but I will do it small. I feel bad. Usually I'm more on it than this. We don't need that to happen. There we go. Okay.
Your Honor, if he's there, he's long enough there to drop off some milk and maybe pick up a kid and drop a kid off. He does not ever, the few nights that he spends in
how
his
would you
car
know
on the
that?
street is it.
Because he watches us all the time.
Hey, ma'am. Okay, hang on just a second.
And the other judge said there was nothing wrong with my signs. What's wrong with my sign? It's Christmas lights. I had a Christmas tree up once, and she said I was intimidating and harassing her by having a little tiny 6-foot Christmas tree with white lights on it. I have pictures and videos of her on her porch, yodeling, doing some crazy things with so many bright lights that it's just a blur. And she has lights on her front yard now. She has red and blue lights just like I do in her front yard. How come they don't bother her, but my red and blue lights across the street bother her? And the spotlights they're saying, they're 60-watt light bulbs. A 60-watt, it's not a spotlight. They just over dramatize everything. That's why I need protection. All I'm doing is trying to go to work. My mom is being drugged into these courts. My mom is 70 years old. She's like, what is going on, honey? I'm like, these people just won't stop. That's it. I mean, they just will not ever leave me alone and here's the deal. If you do an anti-harassment order protection, this is what they did the last time. All she tried to do is get me in trouble. So I had to protect myself. So anytime that she came within the distance, I had to call Thurston County. Well, they even had the videos and everything that was submitted to you that she broke it. They forwarded this stuff to the prosecuting attorney. But the thing is how this court system works. If you don't have it in 5 days prior, they don't get it. So guess what? We missed that window. We continue missing the windows. This is not my full-time job. This is Shannon's job. Shannon doesn't work. I don't know what Shannon does. She's got people coming to go drop dogs off.
Okay, so ma'am, you just need to.
She collects free money. I mean, like I said, I knew Shannon for a long time, so I know what Shannon's capable of. That's why I'm afraid of Shannon, because she will not stop this process. And she's going to continue. Like I said, this has been over a year. What have I really done? What one picture, maybe me flipping her off with the phone, or who knows? I mean, not her. It'd be her camera. I've never personally flipped Shannon off. She knows that. I don't even see her kids. Like I said, her kids are not allowed to play in Evergreen Shores because of all the lawsuits they've had against people there.
Evergreen Shores sounds like Laguna Beach. Like, that sort of like a weird Washington State reality show set on Evergreen Shores where the neighbors hate each other and the drama runs high.
So everyone's afraid. They don't want their kids. They don't want Shan's kids around, And then when the Shan's kids were when they first moved there, they were showing bruises. The parents were concerned for the children. This talk. It just goes on and on. So yeah, I need protection from both of them.
So here's what Ms. Pardee, do you want to say anything?
Your Honor, there were never any bruises, and Mr. Eden's continuous inflammatory statements about my children being abused, that's more harassment. It is not true. And my children are tired of it. I am tired of it. I don't just need the harassment order and protection, Your Honor. My children do. Mr. Eden is the one that runs out to the road. Mr. Eden is the one that is out there at the road. Yes, let's bring Mrs. Burkett in. As she's standing there, closing her eyes, turning her head, as he's repeatedly calling me a fucking cunt with my 15-year-old in the car, when I am what? Trying to leave the neighborhood on the public right-of-way that was put there for me to leave. And with Mr. Eden's illegal fill, I can't go to the right or the left now because he's got an illegal driveway to the left. So and with the fence and then everything else he put up there, imagine, Your Honor, you're talking over 500 dump truck loads of dirt. So he took the ditch away, rose up a
So,
hill.
ma'am, I'm
I counted every single one, Your Honor. I have video of every single one. There was over 500 dump truck loads. I only missed a few when I was personally in the dump truck area taking a dump. No, seriously. What the fuck is she talking about? This is a Karen versus another Karen, I guess.
not interested in any of the dirt or
I
any
get
of
it,
the,
but I'm trying to
that
tell
doesn't
you what the
matter.
dynamic is. Instead of it being an egress to a house, he's now with a hill and a fence right over the road. I can't even go to my mailbox. If I go to my mailbox, it's over by him, and then he yells at me, fucking cat. I have video last night as I'm just trying to exit with Jonathan from my dash cam of him behind the fence giving me the finger. That's a daily occurrence if he's there. He's not trying to ignore us.
Let's see these daily
Okay, just
videos.
stop.
We need to see daily videos. Every day, she's got torn up water
Constantly.
down her
Yes,
yard.
Okay,
he
so
has,
just
Your
stop.
Honor. I have to take
Ma'am,
video daily
okay,
because it keeps track of the noise levels. 40 minutes, 60 minutes of a dump truck or a diesel truck idling in this neighborhood for no reason at
okay.
all. They don't go to work.
So,
They're just there
so
idling.
ma'am, I'm going to stop you, okay? And I'm ready to rule. And here's what's going to happen today.
Oh, wait, Judge. Before you rule, we are going to rule in the chat. Get your guesses in, ladies and gentlemen. This is our event for the evening, just so you know. I have plans later. So, please get your guesses in now. What do you think will happen? Will he put the order in place? These are dueling or cross uh petitions, so both of them want petitions against the other. What do we think will happen? I think they're getting put in place. I think they're going to get put in place always. That's my theory on this. What does everybody else think? Put your guesses in the chat now, or you can pause the video if you're seeing it later, and comment. Yeah, thank you, Vicky. Give them each what they want. Exactly, Orlando Chiquita. I feel like that might be the best route here. Take all of their light bulbs, Jim says. I think that's right. You think the male Karen will get the book thrown at him, 007. Neither gets them, cellulite yoga pants. Let's find out.
You know, first of all, I guess I don't know whether I should say this or not. Every time I say that and then say it, people told me I shouldn't have said it, but I'm going to say
Oh, say it, Judge. Come on, spill the tea. Give us the dirt, please.
it right now. You know, that individual seated to your left should not be here for all this. They just shouldn't. I don't know how old that person is, whether he looks to be 13, 14, maybe 12, 13, but
That's the person I covered up belatedly. I should have done that earlier. I honestly didn't realize it was a child until partway through, but you can't see them on this screen now. I've used a black bar to cover them up. They shouldn't be on here. Agreed, Judge.
is not an appropriate thing for him to be involved in. It's just not. So there's that. Second thing that Mr. Pardee made a comment about lawsuits. You know, I've won some, I've lost some, and all that sort of stuff. And what's going to happen today is everyone's going to win, everyone's going to lose. So I'm granting both orders, both Mr. Eden's orders against the Pardees, and I'll grant your order against Mr. Eden. And the parameters of the order, there's not going to be a distance restriction. So you don't need to worry about coming. You can't go onto their property, but you can't do that anyway, because that's that would be trespassing, of course. The basis for the order on behalf of Mrs. Pardee is that you did, by your own testimony, apparently flipped off. You did use the word that she apparently heard. She wouldn't have, he said her window was open, but she found it out somehow. So, I mean, obviously that was heard, I would find that that's harassing behavior. The pattern be shown by Ms. Pardee and Mr. Pardee. And again, I did looked at the whole file, and I didn't look at the other orders, but everything that's been submitted, you know, and I obviously I'm not out there. I don't live out there. I don't know what's going on. But if a quarter of this, if an eighth of this is accurate, and I believe we've reached that threshold, this is just no way to live from either party, either the parties or Mr. Eden. And so for the next year, the parameters of the order is going to be, and again, I'll find that both have engaged in patterns of conduct that have harassed the others. And basically the order is issues not to cause you any physical harm, not to contact, including the minors, don't engage with the minors, and don't engage in stalking behavior. There is not a stay away provision given the proximity that you live to each other. There's not like, don't come within, don't be out there with a tape measure, don't come within 500 feet, don't come in with 100 feet or anything like that. You guys just can't talk to each other, can't communicate with each other, and just don't be involved in each other's lives, which is what I think you both want. So what does that mean?
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
I'm not done yet, Mr. Pardee. I'm not done yet. And that doesn't mean that I'm not trying to regulate how Mr. Eden runs his garbage trucks or anything like that. There's just, I don't have any control over that. And I don't, what he has to do for that, that's not necessarily, you might think it's harassing, but it's not. The basis for these orders are the interaction and communication or lack thereof that is communicated.
Thank you, Chris. Have a great night. You too. I'll talk to you later.
That has been gone back and forth between the parties. His lights, I'm not regulating any placements of any lights or anything like that either. Again, I just can't, what might seem harassing to you isn't necessarily, or I can't objectively find as harassing behavior, but the harassing behavior, again, is the verbal interaction between all parties that has been shown through the filings as well as the testimony here in court today. Mr. Pardee, I'm done now. And so now I guess when Mr. Eden earlier had said that you got on whatever social media website you referenced and trashed the previous judicial officer, maybe you both can get on there and trash me here today, but neither one of you should have any communication with the other. So I'm granting your order, Mr. Pardee, that he's not to have contact with you, but it's going both ways. Mr. Pardee, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, it's sort of important, Your Honor. I mean, you're putting an order in against me. I don't think there's any evidence of any harassment by me, but that's fine.
For me.
Also, I'm the attorney. I have to talk to the other side. I have to serve documents on them.
Well,
we have an agreement to do email service. Are you going to make an exception for that, Your Honor?
I'm going to stop you, Mr. Pardee, and say, yes, I will include language in there. It says, except in the course of litigation. And what's that cause number in Superior Court?
I'll give it to you now, Your Honor. 23-2. 03894-34. And I have an agreement with Mr. Eden to serve by email.
Just wait a minute. Let me make sure I get that number. Except 03894-34.
Yeah, 23-2-03894-34.
All right.
Your Honor, what contact am I supposed to, or what harassing? I don't understand. I haven't talked to him. I don't talk to him. I get in my car and I try to leave. How is it that I'm harassing him?
Ma'am, I've said before,
yeah,
based on the filings combined with your testimony, I'll make a finding that you have engaged in harassing behavior, and an order is going to be entered.
Yeah, and, well, if you could explain to me what that harassing behavior is, I'd like to know so that I can prevent doing it in the future. And you haven't told me or proven to me that I've done anything, so it's very confusing. So I'm asking you to point out what that harassing behavior is so that I can get with my caregiver and we can make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
In the future, what I want to see going forward in the future is just no communication or interaction with Mr. Eden at all.
I do not talk to Mr. Eden or interact with him at all. Do I record my front yard?
Based on the,
you bet I do, and I'm going to keep doing it. I don't talk to him. I try to leave my driveway He's the one that comes and yells at me. So I'm asking again for you to clarify how I stop harassing him when I don't talk to him, I don't flip him off, I don't go near him, I simply leave my driveway, enter and exit. So how is it you would like me to not harass him when I'm already not doing anything? What more would you like me to not do? Would you like me to stop breathing? Because I'm really confused.
You know, Judge Wilcox made it where he couldn't represent her.
Stop.
Judge Meyer, I'm very confused though. One thing, what did I do to harass Mr. Eden? He's talking about
Yes,
an
what
incident
did
that
you do?
happened in January. That's unfair, Your Honor. You're putting an order against me. I don't even live there, allegedly. You're putting an order against me. I've never harassed Mr. Eden. I mean, I
You're
tried to
allowing
serve
Mr.
him back in
Eden to
January.
keep
There's
him
no
away
proof in
from
the
helping
file.
me.
There's no proof in the file that I harassed him at all. I'm an
None.
attorney in the state of Washington. You're putting an order against another attorney for what? What did I do?
And
I've
you're
done
allowing
anything.
Mr. Eden to keep the kids'
But
dad
so
away
be it.
from helping us. He already said, Jeff already admitted Bill hasn't done anything to him. Oh, we're almost buds, but I want this order. And
So when I
there
go
you
to court
are.
now, Your Honor, I have to be fearful that I'll be set up. When I go
That's
to court now, when
exactly
I
what
walk
you're
into the
doing.
courthouse, I will be set up by Mr. Eden. Thank you. Because now I can't go to court without feeling safe because I have a no contact order that you're putting
Oh,
in
wait a
place.
minute. This
I've
judge
done
works
nothing.
for Thursday.
Oh, what an odd way. That's a very odd tact that he's taking. He's trying to guilt him in open court. Oh, fuck. Ew. Can you just imagine their lovemaking? Do you think they argue? Do you think that's what gets them off? The two of them? Is that why he lives in the car?
County and we're suing them. Isn't this
That's
a
I've never even
coincidence?
been named as a respondent, Your Honor, until I filed that action in Thurston County Superior Court in November. That's why I'm named as a respondent now. I was never named as a respondent in the past. Mr. Eden says he has no problem with me. But now you're
But now
putting
all
a
of a sudden
restraining
he
order
does.
in. That doesn't make any sense, Your Honor. But I guess so be it.
Okay.
Isn't there
So
some
I've
kind of
included
3-day appeal?
in 23-000-435, I've included the parties, you folks, may communicate with Jeffrey Eden in the course of litigation in Thurston County Superior Court number 23-2 -000-435-34. I'll also indicate, Mr. Pardee, the parties may appear in court together, but there's not a
Your Honor,
distance
that's not the right cause number. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It's 38-03894. My mistake. You have it white on.
I can say it again, Your Honor. 23-2-03894-34.
Yes, that is correct.
And does that include when I'm at the courthouse, Your Honor, about to go into the courthouse?
No, there's no distance restriction. You can go to and from the courthouse at all.
Well, I'm
At
saying
any
I'm
time-
violating the no contact order by being there and seeing Mr. Eden outside the courthouse.
No, you're not. If it's
Okay.
in the course of litigation, you're absolutely not.
Now,
So
how
they're
about
gonna-
when we're trying to come and go from our home and he's got an illegal second driveway and we can't get out? We can't get to our home without going past him and he's always running out there
Yeah,
saying.
and
he's
you can
hurting
do
me.
that. You can, again, there's not a distance restriction. There's nothing that restricts you to going to and from your home.
Yes, but you are giving him an order and he is the one that gets in the road and blocks the car. Just because this guy says, I didn't do that, if you believe him, oh my God, but that is not the truth. He's lying.
If he blocks the road, that's something you can report to the police or obstruct or something like that.
Also, Your Honor, the mental health matters sign will remain in place. Why?
Yeah, I mean, that's up to Mr. Eden.
And
So you heard
floodlights?
that he put the fence up.
Floodlights and a mental health matters sign.
They're gonna continue taking me to court constantly? I mean,
I can't
Really?
stop them from
it's up to
doing
you
that.
guys.
Well, Mr. Eden, you took me to court. I didn't take you to court.
Okay, so hey,
What are you talking about?
So stupid. Like I said, they started this, not me.
Okay, so just stop. It's going to end now. You're free to leave. The parties are free to leave the Zoom call. You're free to leave. Email copies of the orders will be emailed to all parties.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that's
And that is all she fucking wrote, you guys. Wow, what a nightmare. I hope mental health does matter. I know, Jody. That's why I think the sign they can't really regulate. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know some of you may have seen it on another channel. That only just happened hours ago, so and I'm actually earlier than I normally would be. So that's as soon as I could get it to you, I promise. Please like the video, leave a comment if you can. Check out the new video that I posted. It's about it's a breakdown of yesterday's live. I just pushed together a couple of the cases. It's only like 7 minutes long. Just give it a like. Help me with YouTube Daddy, please. Thank you again to everybody who donated. And I thank you so much. Tomorrow we will be back with Wednesday stuff, and we're gonna have a good time. So until then, remember that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. I said bye.